Hiya, it's Helen again from Hell of a Cake, and today we'll be doing these elegant roses. So we're just going to start off with some 20 gauge florist wire and then just snip them in half. Bend the wire around the tool like this, which creates a little hook at the end. Now pick up some SFP sugar paste and roll it into a ball. Put it between your fingers and roll it slightly at one end so it goes to like a pear shape. Using one wire, I'm dipping the hooked end into the glue. Check out the other video if you would like to make it. The way I insert the wire is with a little 3/4 turn. Remember to nip the end and smooth any excess paste away. Once you've done this, you can roll it in between your fingers to get a point. Put it aside overnight till it hardens and it doesn't move from the wire. Roll out the pink flower paste until it's really thin. Don't be afraid to keep rolling it because the texture is different. It's like chewing gum. It won't break like other pastes. The thinner you get it, the more elegant it'll look. For the petals, I'm using the FMM rose petal cutters. They're roughly about £5, so they're really nice and cheap. And I use the largest one of the 5 throughout the video. Cut 4 rose petals out. Oh, don't forget to shake them across the bench so it doesn't stick. Place your petals on the foam board and pick up your veining tool. We use this to put fine, delicate little lines across the petals. This is optional, but it makes the petals look more realistic. To make the petals look thinner, gently press the rounded edge tool across the edge of the petals until it curls. Spread a tiny amount of glue across the petal. You can use water instead if you wish, it'll do the same job. Grab the bud and then start sticking the petals on. The way to do this is by facing the tip of the petal at the bottom of the bud and then leaving the curved edge at the top. Bend it around and stick one side down and then take the other side and sort of wrap that round until you can't see any white, but it must be overlapping. In the same way, stick another petal down on the overlapped side. You can cover the white bit, but it's not important at this stage because we will be covering them with the other petals. And then repeat this with another 2 petals on the opposite side, but just make sure that you cover them on the overlapped side. I've already prepared and cut out some petals and I've put them in a poly pocket so they don't dry out. When you see a real rose, it's always darker in the inside and then it gets lighter as it goes out. So I've made some coloured paste to match this. Then I've cut out the petals in a 6, 8 and 10 order. Take the darker of the 6 petals and pop them on the foam board exactly the same way as before, just vein them and thin them out using your white tool. Now we're curling the edges of the petals with a cocktail stick. It's really important to get this right when you first start off so that your layering's right when you go around. The first petal is different from the rest because we're only doing it at one side, so pick up your petal and face the tip towards yourself and then place the cocktail stick at the top right hand side and bring it back on itself. What this does is it creates a lovely curl. Then for the rest of the petals, repeat this method on both sides. the petals over and put a thin layer of glue on the back. The first petal we use is the one with the one curl. Stick down the side that doesn't have the curl onto the bud with the tip facing down. Peel back the curled side and slot in another petal. Push down the first petal over the one that we've just put in. Then peel back this one and slot another one in place. And then continue this process until you come to the last petal, and then leave this one open. Handy little tip, make sure that you put your petals on at the same height as the bud, because they could end up like cabbages. I've already vein thinned and curled the other 8 petals, so just stick them on like the previous layer. After that, repeat it with the lighter 10. Remember, you don't want cabbages, so keep them all at the same height. Once we've closed the last petal, we're just going to start off by doing the calyx that goes underneath the rose. I've mixed some spruce green food colour into the sugar paste. All I'm doing is rolling it out until it's really thin. Use your calyx cutter and cut it out, but remember to scrape it along the bench so it doesn't stick. Push it out and pop it on your foam pad and then thin right away around the calyx edge. When you've done that, pull each part back down the centre until it curls up, and then just turn it round and pop it on your finger. Glue or wet this side and then poke your rose through the centre, turn it upside down and it should automatically glide down the wire. Then just press it down to stick it. Roll a tiny ball and pinch it at one side so it gives it a cone shape, then push it up the wire until it reaches the end. Take some colour splash kiwi dust and dust the calyx like I do. That's the rose all sorted, so now we're going to move on to the stem and the leaves so it looks connected like this. So pick up 2 wires, 24 gauge, and then snip them twice so you have 6 wires. Take your idented board and roll your green sugar paste over. As you can see, it's made an indent for the wire to go down. When you cut them out, this really does help because it's thicker. We're using 2 leaf cutters, one small and one medium. Use the medium one and cut 3 leaves out, making sure you line the thicker bit up down the centre when you cut them out. Dip your wire into the glue and remove any excess onto your hand, then place the wire into the thicker bit of the leaf. Handy little tip here, put your wire about 1/4 of the way down your leaf. Just makes it more secure. Place the leaf into the veiner. Please only press down on each side, not the thicker side, because the wire might go through the sugar paste. Thin the edges on your foam pad. Repeat this process with the other 2 leaves. Then create 2 smaller leaves using the smaller cutter, so you should have 3 medium leaves and 2 smaller ones altogether. Roll your florist tape down the wire until you've got it in place, then push it up until it meets the sugar paste. Continue down for about 1/2 inch. At this point, just bend it to the side. Take your next medium leaf and right at the end of your sugar paste, put a bend in the right hand side. On the next leaf, make sure you put the bend in the left hand side. Place them together about an inch down on the other wires. Take the tape and twist it down. Handy little tip, if you don't want to see any wires shown on the outer leaves, pull down on their wires at the very bottom like this. Repeat this method with the smaller leaves and then twist the tape all the way down to the end. Dust the leaves with the kiwi again and then use the shell and shine for a nicer finish. Put your leaves together with your delicate rose and take your florist tape and place it at the bottom of the calyx, making sure that you pull down so you don't see them gaps. Then twist the tape all the way down to the bottom and snap off any excess florist tape. I use these elegant roses all the time for my cakes. I hope you enjoyed making them too. If you want to make them more realistic, just dust them. But if you want to see how I do them, leave a comment below. Make sure to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe and turn that notification bell on. Until next time.